Hey traders, Marcello here, founder of the Day Trading Academy. Today we're going to be answering all your questions on trailing stop loss orders. So this is a question from Edward. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to leave them with hashtag AskMarcello. I'll be happy to go ahead and answer all those questions for you.
Why don't you use TSLO, trailing stop loss order, or SLO, stop loss order, in your trade or positions? Those are very huge sizes and losses.
So Edward, I'm a very big proponent in psychology. I think the majority of us in the day trading industry always, and especially you guys, right? And when I first started, the vision of what you think you need are all these strategies and all these indicators and all these lines and all this fancy stuff that at the end of the day you really don't need. Even though trading is hard to learn, right? You can lose all of your money, all the stuff that the government wants us to tell you guys, that you can lose everything, be very careful risking money you don't have. For me, in order to focus on the right things, Edward, I think it's really important to focus on the good things instead of the bad things. So for example, if you're worrying about a trailing stop loss order, technically I guess you can debate that you're not really focusing on the loss. But what's happening a lot of times, and I see in a lot of traders that want to do that, especially guys that go live and they kind of get nervous and they don't want to lose any money, is you start worrying about losing money instead of making money. And that's a completely different perception when you are actually trading, because if you're setting stop loss orders that are automatic, we do have some automated systems that, you know, thanks to Jim, the guy called Superman, one of the best traders I think I've trained, if not the best. There's a lot of great guys out there. You start to limit your options and you don't pay attention to what the market is doing. So a lot of people talk about rules-based trading, which is basically, you know, trading with a very strict defined set of rules. And unfortunately what happens is the market isn't rules-based, the market is dynamic. And I remember when I first got into this industry years ago, the market moved in waves, but it was weeks or maybe months. And now from 1 hour to the next, it'll change, and then it'll change right back in 5 minutes. So in my opinion, stop loss orders don't allow you to be dynamic to what the market is doing. Rather, you're focusing more on the losses rather than the gains. And what I mean by that is, if you take a trade and it's supposed to go to a certain area, yeah, obviously you should have your risk management to be able to lose money. But instead of focusing on where the market should go, the only thing you're worried about is automatically doing your stop. So no matter what the market is doing or what it's supposed to do or where it can return to, you're just going to automatically trail that stop, like just right? So instead of focusing on what the market is doing or where it should go, you're focusing on not losing money. And that's a completely different perception than where, you know, it's instead of focusing on kind of, when we talk about people, for example, it's kind of like focusing on your negatives rather than your positives. And if you focus on losing money, then the focus is going to be in a place where it definitely shouldn't be, because the market, since it's dynamic and it can change all the time, the real question you should ask yourself is, where can the market not go, or where can the market go, rather than doing that automatically? Because when you're trading with the system, the kind of system that we teach, for example, we teach you how to really understand what the market is doing rather than just automatically doing something just because. And that's part of the reason why I think that most traders don't actually find success in this business, among other things, right? You know, it's important to be able to adapt to what the market is doing rather than kind of force your opinion or force your concept on the market. And whenever you have kind of a set stop loss order, for example, you're forcing your idea on the market no matter what that market is, especially for guys that trade multiple markets. So that's the main reason, Edward, why I don't teach trailing stop loss orders. The majority of the traders at DTA focus more on where the market can go. We do have very strict risk management principles that are set in place so people don't lose, it helps them with not losing money. Obviously all traders lose money. Some lose a lot more than others, especially in the beginning. The success rate I think is only 90%. I think it's more like 3% success rate. 90% of traders lose money. I think it's more like 97. But that's part of the reason why I don't like trailing stops, because I think it puts your mindset or your psychology on something that you shouldn't, instead of focusing on the things that you should, and that kind of changes the whole dynamic of you trading and you actually doing things. So thanks for the question, Edward. If you guys have any other questions, don't forget to leave them with #AskMarcello. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.